There are certain sounds that never belong in the middle of the night. A key in the front door when you live alone, a knock from the wrong side of a wall, the soft electronic click of a television turning on in a dark room. Some sounds are not loud enough to startle you. They are worse than that. They are familiar, they belong to ordinary life, to routines, to harmless moments, and that is exactly why your body goes cold when they happen at the wrong time. That is how this started. Not with a scream, not with broken glass, not with footsteps in the hallway outside my apartment, just with the sound of my TV turning on at 2:13 in the morning. I live alone, and my apartment is small enough that every room has a place in my head, even with the lights off. Bedroom, short hallway, bathroom, living room, kitchen. The TV sits across from my bed, mounted on the wall, black screen facing me like a second window. I never sleep with it on. I hate that blue standby light in the dark, so I always turn it fully off before bed. Not sleep mode. Off. I remember doing that night. I remember because I had stood there with the remote in my hand, watched the screen go black, and even waited a second longer than usual to make sure it was dead. So when the room lit up pale blue and the speakers made that soft startup pop, I woke up instantly, not fully, not all at once, but enough to know something was wrong. I opened my eyes and saw the TV glowing across the room. For a second, I thought I had left it on by mistake. That would have been the normal explanation. Then I sat up, because it wasn't showing a channel, it wasn't showing static, it wasn't showing a menu, it wasn't cycling through inputs, it was showing my hallway. Not a hallway. My hallway. The one outside my bedroom, same narrow walls, same cheap runner rug, same bathroom door on the left, same framed picture near the kitchen entrance that had been hanging crooked since I moved in. And the angle was wrong immediately, that is the part one understood first. The image on the TV looked down the hall from somewhere near the ceiling, high and slightly tilted, as if a security camera had been bolted above my bedroom door. But I don't own any cameras, not in the hallway, not anywhere in the apartment. I just stared at the screen. The hall on the TV was empty, quiet, still, nothing moving. Then I looked past the screen toward my actual bedroom doorway. Dark, open a crack. Beyond it, the real hallway was pitch black. That should have made me feel better. Instead, it made me feel worse because it meant the TV was not reflecting light from the hall. It was not mirroring anything in real time. It was showing something else. I grabbed the remote from the nightstand and hit power. Nothing happened. I hit it again, still nothing. The screen did not flicker. The volume did not change. No menu appeared. The TV just kept showing my hallway. Then, on the screen, my bedroom. Door began to open, slowly. I looked at my real door at the exact same moment. It had not moved. It was still open the same small amount as before. But on the TV, the door was wider now, and then someone stepped into the hallway. Me. Same t-shirt. Same height. Same shape. Barefoot. I was watching myself walk out of the bedroom on the TV while I was still sitting in bed. That is the sentence that still sounds stupid when I say it out loud. But it is exactly what happened. TV me stood in the doorway for a second, head tilted slightly like he had heard something. Then he looked down the hall toward the bathroom. I did not move. I don't mean I chose not to move. I mean my body was doing that thing bodies do when they have not yet decided whether they are in danger or just very, very wrong. On the screen, the version of me in the hallway took one slow step toward the bathroom. Then the image froze, not glitched, not broke up into static, just stopped like a paused video. Then the TV speakers hissed softly, and the screen went black. I remember the silence after that, feeling enormous. The room was dark again. Only the city glow through the curtains, only my own breathing, only the remote in my hand. I got out of bed then, not because I wanted to investigate, mostly because staying in bed suddenly felt childish, like hiding under a blanket from something that had already seen me. I walked to the TV, the power light was off, the screen was cold black glass. I pressed the side button on the frame, nothing. I crouched and checked the cable, still plugged in, still dead. That was when the TV came back on, not with sound, just image, the same hallway again. But now it was brighter, not lit, exactly, just clearer, and now TV me was farther down the hall, almost at the bathroom door. I stepped backward so fast my heel hit the bed frame because this wasn't a replay, it was continuing, like the television had only paused to let me catch up. I looked at the real hallway again, still dark. Still empty. Then back at the screen, TV me stopped in front of the bathroom door. He did not touch it, he just stood there staring at it. Then, very slowly, he turned his head and looked directly into the camera. Not toward it. Into it. Like he knew it was there, like he knew I was watching through it. I have tried to explain that feeling to people before and failed every time. Seeing your own face on a screen is normal. Video calls, reflections, photos. But there is something deeply wrong about seeing yourself make eye contact with something that should not exist. Then TV Me raised one hand and pointed down the hallway, toward the far end, toward the kitchen. The image cut to static for maybe half a second. When it came back, the angle had changed. Now the camera was farther away, looking back down the hall from the kitchen entrance, still too high. Still impossible. And from that new angle, I could see the hallway on the screen much more clearly than the real one, my bedroom door. Bathroom door. Living room edge. Everything still. Everything empty. Except for one thing, there was a shadow on the wall beside the bathroom. Not a person, not a reflection, just a patch of darkness shaped wrong for the angle of any light in my apartment. It stretched longer than it should have, up the wall and partly across the ceiling, as if someone just out of frame was standing close enough to cast it. But somehow the body casting it was invisible. I backed out of the bedroom and reached for the hallway switch. The real hall light snapped on, warm yellow. Normal. The sudden ordinariness of it almost made me dizzy, and the TV image changed immediately. On the screen, the hallway light also turned on. But not at the same moment. A second later, just late enough to tell me something I did not want to know. The TV was not showing the hallway live, it was showing it ahead, not by much, maybe a second. Maybe two. Enough. I stared at the screen. Nothing moved. Then, in real life, I heard a soft sound from the bathroom. A click. Not loud, not dramatic, like the metal faucet handle being touched lightly and let go. I turned toward the bathroom. On the TV. Before I moved, the bathroom door opened, just an inch, then another. Then on the screen, I saw myself step into frame from the right, walking toward it. In real life, I was still frozen where I stood. That was when I knew. The TV was not just showing my hallway, it was showing what I was about to do in it. I watched TV Me walk to the bathroom door. Then, on the screen, he leaned slightly and looked inside. I stopped myself from moving. I actually said no out loud to an empty apartment because I understood suddenly and horribly that if I followed what I saw, then I would become it. TV Me stood there for a second longer. Then on the screen, the bathroom light went out. In real life, my bathroom light was still on. A beat later, it went dark. I don't know if I flinched or stepped back or made a sound. I only remember the feeling of time becoming slippery because now I wasn't reacting to the apartment. I was reacting to the version of it the TV showed me first. The screen was teaching me the next few seconds, and every few seconds later, the apartment obeyed. Then the image on the TV jolted again, new angle, now from inside the bathroom, facing out toward the hall, and in the screen's version of the bathroom mirror, I could see the hallway behind TV Me. He was standing just outside the doorway, looking in, still me, still wrong. And behind him in the mirror, farther down the hall near my bedroom door, someone else was standing there, not moving, just a tall dark shape with no face I could make out. The second I saw that, I did what I should have done much earlier. I unplugged the TV, ripped the cord straight from the wall, the screen went black, the room fell silent, and I stood there holding the cable in my hand, breathing too hard, telling myself that was done, finished, over. A broken device, a malfunction, a panic episode, anything. Then the screen came back on, still unplugged, still showing my hallway. This time from the floor, low angle, from just outside my bedroom, and on the screen I saw a pair of bare feet step into frame and stop mine. Then, from behind me in the real apartment, I heard the bedroom floorboard creak. Just once. I turned so fast I nearly fell. Nothing there. Empty bedroom. Open hall. TV glow behind me. Then the TV speakers made a sound for the first time since the start, not dialogue, not static, breathing. Very soft. And then my own voice whispered from the speakers. Don't let it see you watching. I don't know why I listened, I don't know why that sentence made more sense to me than anything else that night, but I killed the hall light immediately, then the bedroom lamp, then stood in darkness with only the TV lighting the wall. On the screen, the hallway was now dark too, and in the dark TV hallway I could still see movement, not fast, not dramatic, just enough to know something was crossing from the bathroom toward the bedroom. Not me this time, too tall, head bent strangely, arms hanging too low, moving like it was trying to remember how a person crossed a hallway. I stepped backward into the bedroom. The TV angle changed again. Now it was inside my room, high corner, looking down at me. There is no camera in my bedroom. There never was. And yet there I was on the screen, standing exactly where I was standing, looking exactly as terrified as I felt. Then TV Me turned toward the closet. I didn't, not yet, on the screen. He kept staring at it, then slowly raised one shaking hand and pointed. The closet door in real life clicked, not open, just the sound of pressure against the latch from inside. The TV speakers whispered again, this time in my voice, but not as if I were warning myself, more like I was trying to remember. Something through pain, it changes places when you look away. That sentence made me do the worst thing possible. I looked back at the TV, and when I did, the thing in the hallway was gone, not hidden. Gone. In the screen reflection of the bedroom mirror, I could now see it standing behind the bed. In real life, I could not see behind the bed from where I was standing. I ran for the bedroom door, not to escape the apartment, just away from the room. I made it into the hall and nearly slipped on the rug. The TV, still unplugged, still running, still impossible, was now behind me in the dark bedroom, and from inside that room, through the speakers, I heard my own voice call my name once. Softly, like I had just gotten home. I did not turn back. I made it to the front door and unlocked it. My hands were shaking so badly it took 3 tries. Then the TV went silent. Not off. Silent. And in that silence, from somewhere behind me in the apartment, I heard footsteps. My footsteps.
Exact
Weight. Coming down the hallway toward the front door, toward me, I opened the door and ran into the corridor outside. Then I made the mistake. I looked back from the apartment doorway across the dark living room and down the hall. I could still see the bedroom TV glowing, and on it, from some impossible angle near the ceiling of the corridor outside my apartment, I saw myself standing in the doorway, looking back in. The same thing I was doing now, but on the screen version, something was standing. Directly behind me in the corridor, close enough to touch. The real corridor behind me was empty. I turned anyway, nothing there, and when I looked back into the apartment, the front door swung shut on its own, not slammed, just closed softly, like someone inside had decided the night was over. I spent the rest of it in the lobby until morning. When building maintenance came up with me, the apartment looked normal, TV unplugged. Hallway empty. Bathroom light working. Closet door closed. No broken lock, no sign anyone had been there. That should have been the end. It wasn't, because that night, before I left the apartment for good, I packed in daylight, and when I pulled the TV mount off the bedroom wall, there was something written behind it in dust, not old writing. Fresh. For words. Now stop looking back. I moved out 2 days later, new building. New bedroom. No TV on the wall. For a while, nothing happened. Then last week, I woke up in the middle of the night because the new apartment was glowing blue. I don't even own a television anymore. And yet, on the blank black wall across from my bed, moving light was flickering, like something just outside the room was still trying to show me the hallway.